We sit with a very interesting conundrum in the South African marketplace, in that on the one hand, our market size, when brought into the perspective of the world market, is extremely small. It probably only constitutes around 0.25% of the world aesthetic market. However, in terms of the standard of the South African aesthetic market, there is no doubt that we are at world-class level in South Africa. This leads to a very interesting problem in that many of the products and equipment that we would like to see present on the South African stage are in fact not available due to the size of the market. So we need to encourage international manufacturers of both products and equipment to embrace the South African market, despite the fact that it is by world standards, quite a small market, where an equipment distributor in South Africa may be able to sell between 10 and 15 pieces of equipment into the South African market. For the same amount of effort in the Middle East, they would probably sell 100 or 200, whereas in China and India, they would sell quite literally thousands of pieces of equipment. So the scale that they need to operate at for the South African market is much, much smaller, and therefore there is not a huge hunger from the equipment manufacturers to enter the South African market. We need to make it worth their while. What works against us as well is our price point. The South African price point is substantially lower in terms of the affordability that patients have than it is in the USA or in Europe, and as a result, we cannot pay exactly the same amount of price for treatments because our income levels in South Africa don't justify that level of pricing. This in turn means that the equipment cost has to be lower, and what further complicates the situation for us is that because we sit with a weak currency which is continuously devaluing, not only purchasing the equipment but maintaining the equipment and buying the consumables for a piece of equipment can increase over time. To make it even more complicated, we sit with higher interest rates. So if that equipment has to be financed, that becomes an increasing cost on the business over the period that we get the financing.